UFC Fight Night Cannonier vs. Rodrigues took place last night. We're going to go through a recap of my predictions and my bets on the card. I said it was going to be a good card. We had 6 finishes. Count 'em, 6. 4 knockouts, 2 submissions, 6 decisions. That's a pretty decent night. I've been reading a lot of comments. Oh, it was an okay night. Very forgettable. People are such tards. I can't stand it. Anyway, you got knockouts. You got submissions. 6 finishes. 12 fights. There was supposed to be 13. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Let's get right into the prediction recap. The first match last night was Julia Avila versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. It went exactly the way I thought it would. I should have played that over 2.5 on that one. Now shouldn't I? Moving on, we had Dontel Mays come out thinking he was Debo, only to get wrapped up by Walter Walker with the same submission he's done for his last 2 outings. Bro, you said you were, telling everybody. Why didn't you tell me? Who had that bet? Take a bow. First round submission. That had to pay well. Went on to Vince Morales versus Elijah Smith. Elijah Smith looked sharp. I really think he could have finished Morales with that uppercut if he didn't shoot the takedown immediately afterward. I think if he would have saw the effect that uppercut had on Morales, he could have just took a step back and finished that fight and actually won me that bet, but that didn't happen. Unanimous decision for Elijah. I'm 3-0 up until that point, and then I picked my first dog on the night, and he failed. Chaos Williams. Not everything needs to be a power shot, Chaos. I mean, once he started sticking that jab, you had the reach advantage. Stick one right back, my man. Come on. Loses to submission, goes out on his shield, refusing to tap. Gotta respect that. This next fight was Rafael Esteban versus Jesus Aguilar. Esteban looked sharp in those first 2 rounds, but didn't look like he had much in the tank for that third. I told you this fight would look a lot closer than the 4-1 lines that Esteban had on him. Aguilar looking like he was trying to finish the fight in the 3rd round. Thought it was a pretty decent outing for Jesus, even though he lost the unanimous decision. Aguilar looking sharp, but Esteban ultimately got it done. Angela Hill showing she is not over the hill. Ketlin Souza. Girl. The fight starts in the 1st round. You might want to have a little conversation with your coaches about that strategy of, taking the vacation on round 1. I lose my pick and my bet on Souza. Get into that on the bet and recap. But Angela, more volume, experience, obviously started fighting at round 1. If I just would have picked a 2-pick parlay over 2.5 on both girl fights on the night, that would have been a nice and easy bet probably, and I would have been 4-0 on my over 2.5. So what the hell is wrong with me? I didn't even think about the over 2.5s this event. Horrible betting. Anyway, moving right on to Connor Matthews versus Jose Delgado. I told you the new guys were going to look sharp tonight. Delgado with a 1st round knockout. And that's all she wrote. That was over pretty quick. Rafael Vieira versus Petrosky was a match that I knew was going to be competitive. I knew there was going to be a lot of back and forth. I thought about the wrestling styles before the fight, and then I had already thought what the analysts already thought. These guys usually, when 2 high-level grapplers get together, it's usually the hands that dictate the end of the match. I should have thought about that. Should have thought about how sharp Petrosky's hands started to look lately. And look, the improvements. Petrosky's showing that he might be ready to move on up at middleweight for some tougher competition. We moved on to my boy Sadikov getting the win over Bonfim. I told you Sadikov was a dog. Told you he's looking sharp. And that was a weird ending to that match. That cut was under Bonfim's eye, and then he said he couldn't see. I just don't think he wanted to fight after that point. That's what I think. Sadikov showing you how we get it done in Brooklyn. Hold that. We go on to Shabazian versus Budka. Shabazian with the first round knockout. Didn't see that happening. I thought this was going to be one of those decision fights for sure, where they're just hugging each other up against the cage. I thought that was gonna be the typical, snoozer fest, but Shabazian getting it done early. Moved on to the co-main event, Qatar versus Salal. Salal looking sharp as always. I didn't like the way you coasted that third round though. I really think you should have shown us a little bit more. But I get it. You were winning the fight. You get the unanimous decision over Calvin Kattar. People say Kattar, I say Qatar. Look, it's spelled like Qatar. What do you want from me? Salal gets it done. We move on to the main event. Jared Cannonier with the comeback win. Congrats to you, Jared, showing that age is only a number. And Gregory Rodrigues. What happened, RoboCop? Somebody had to do it. Cannonier dismantling RoboCop in round 4. Why did you even come out for round 4? I mean, I don't know why. Come on, Gilbert. That's your boy. You should have threw the towel. I mean, RoboCop came out in that 4th round. He didn't even throw a punch. He literally just had his hands up by his waist and said, he looked at Jared and said, don't make it hurt too much. Yo, Cannonier with the TKO. Let's get into the betting recap. So on the official predictions, I go 8-4 on the night. And for my official bets, a sad 1 for 5. It's actually 1 for 4 because my Ruzaboyev bet was voided. And I actually broke one of my main rules this past Friday. I always watch the face-offs. And for whatever reason, this past Friday, I thought, let me get this video and my predictions out a little bit earlier on Friday. I think when I was uploading the vid, the face-offs were taking place. And I already knew. Once Ruzaboyev didn't make weight, and I saw all those voided tickets, bad omen. That's a bad omen when that happens for me. I already knew I wasn't going to live bet. I was already tallying what I would potentially win if one of these long shots came through. All of the donations are trash. Those 7 donation bets, all in the garbage. I should mention that 2 of them went 10 for 2. Should have picked one of those as my predictions for the night. But that's what happens. You see, I broke my own rule of watching face-offs and getting comfortable with my bets on Friday instead of thinking, I'm just going to get them out early. I don't know what that was about, but I pay the price. I lose 40%, just under 40% of my budget, because I did get my one bet win with Sadikov. I said he was going to get the job done, and he was the only bet I win on the night. I did have a live, you can't say it's a live bet. Well, yeah, you could say it's a live bet. I think I placed this 4-pick parlay right when the event was going on. Can you imagine that? If I just would have put Cannonier on this and put that Ketlin match as an over 2.5. Oh, the coulda, shoulda, woulda. Not a good betting night for your boy. Hopefully we change this whole trend of doing mediocre around next week, February 22nd. Triple Cringe Cejudo versus Song Yadong. I've been looking over the card already, and this time I think I'm going to be able to pull off some actual paper. Congrats again to Jerry Cannonier getting the job done, leaving RoboCop and myself on life support. I'll see you next week.